The Democrats are losing their hold, their grip on the black voters. Why? They're finally waking up that Biden is just a rich, old, white criminal racist.
Maybe the most startling number in our poll is this, the hypothetical matchup, a rematch of Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. Our poll with the Washington Post pegging this at 51% for Donald Trump over Joe Biden. That is a 9-point edge. Now, that's only a couple of points difference from our last poll in May, but it is significantly different than most recent polls.
We're going to start out with just a general statement that this is ABC News having a complete heart attack, that Trump is stomping Biden's head in the ground by 10 points. That's in liberal ABC. Continue.
We know in this poll there's some quirks, some oddities around the number of black voters and Hispanic voters, the younger voters who seem to be supporting Donald Trump.
This is disgusting and funny. These are quirks and anomalies. I don't get it. There's all these quirks and anomalies. The blacks and Hispanics are supporting Trump. Why is that a quirk or an anomaly? Because I think it's a quirk and a bizarre defeat for minorities to support Biden.
This, as our new poll shows, the president's approval among black voters is down 17 points since the first year of his presidency. Mr. Biden is also down by double digits among Latinos, voters without a college degree, and independents. And as we mentioned, 59% of Democratic primary voters tell us they want to see a challenger to President Biden.
And I love it. Why? Because the orange man is getting support, taking it from Biden. Let's watch.
There's also this. We found an enthusiasm gap between the two parties. We asked folks on a scale of 1 to 10, how enthusiastic are you about the presidential election? And you can see Republican to Democrat, there is a gap right there. Where's the lag for Democrats? We found a couple places. Non-white voters, you can see significantly less enthusiastic than white voters.
White people are stupidly following Biden, another white old rich guy. So I'm with the minorities on this one.
And then how about this age gap? The youngest group of voters who Democrats have been trying to get excited and motivated, a nearly 50-point gap there.
And get this, because it's pretty hard to believe, but we asked people whether Donald Trump should be constitutionally disqualified for running for office. And among people who said yes, 1 in 5, about 18%, say they'd vote for Trump anyway.
Guilty. That's right, because we'd rather have a Trump who's been unfairly targeted by an immoral system than Biden, who's been unfairly benefited by an immoral system. See that? The people are not dumb. The people get what's going on, and the Democrats are losing their grip.
You know, nature abhors a vacuum.
Nature also abhors a whore. That's Eric Swalwell, who was caught nailing a Chinese whore.
I think his approval rating is as low as it is that they tell these lies. We don't punch back hard enough. We play on our side of the field rather than theirs. And then on the right-wing media ecosystem.
What right-wing media ecosystem? Eric Swalwell, who never met a Chinese whore spy that he didn't want to go to bed with, is completely lying about the right. He's saying we don't punch back hard enough. With what? He says with some right-wing media complex? What would that be? Sean Hannity? Have you been to like every other network in the world that gives 95% to Democrats? Hollywood? Where are all the right-wing Republicans, flag-waving Republicans out in Hollywood and academia? Or big tech?
It just reinforces those lies, and then they use the low poll numbers to justify why they're going to lean in even more.
What a fraud. Biden's head is a rotten gourd covered in flies, and it's caving in. And Trump is smoking him. And let's see how NBC is dealing with their own hysterics. They're going to have to be in therapy.
It's a simple question of job approval. Barely 40% approve of Joe Biden's performance.
And we have to note 56%. That's the highest disapproval rating for President Biden since he took office. That's significant.
What are we going to do? Our guy is getting destroyed in the polls. It's over, by the way. They're not going to run Biden. Okay. If these polls stick, they're going to replace him.
Yeah, so let's take a look at what's driving that too here. In one big area, no surprise, it is the economy. Look at this contrast. This is April of 21, months after Biden took office. Nearly half the country was satisfied with where the economy was then. Now, barely 1 in 4 Americans satisfied with the economy.
Just so that before you see Pete Buttigieg is coming up here and he's going to try and brainwash you by lying to you. This is the proof. Just watch that again. This NBC guy says that people in general were satisfied with where things were under Trump when Biden received the economy.
This is April of 21, months after Biden took office. Nearly half the country was satisfied with where the economy was then. Now, barely 1 in 4 Americans satisfied with the economy.
Compare that to Pete Buttigieg right now. Listen to how he spins it and lies to you about where we were at under Trump. Watch this.
We all know the economic pressure that Americans have felt when the president took office. The economy was flat on its back.
And he says the economy was flat on its back under Trump. Well, what was really happening is that Buttigieg was flat on his front. Oh.
So really an uphill battle to try to make sure voters don't stay home if you're Democrats.
Yeah, that's it. And the problem for Democrats, too, the lack of enthusiasm about the election, there's clearly a lack of enthusiasm about the president himself.
And yes, it takes a while for people to feel the full benefits of those results.
If we get any more benefits from Biden results, we're going to be trading seashells because this is going full Fury Road on us. Enough, Buttigieg, get off my show. Let's go back to NBC. Remember, these are Democrats, guys, giving you good food, giving you good candy, making you all happy. Thank these Democrats for telling you the truth. Thank you, little Democrat.
Because we asked primary voters on the Democratic side, do you want options next year besides Biden? 59% said yes, they do.
Deep within the untamed wilderness of Washington, D.C., a remarkable and rather peculiar creature known as the jackass can be observed in its native habitat.
That's a little fake documentary I saw made where they use a guy that sounds like Sir Richard Attenborough.
This is not a normal number for an incumbent. We asked the same question a year before Donald Trump sought re-election of Republicans. Only 37% wanted more choices then. That's a very high number.
Yeah, this is like the inverse of each other, these two numbers.
This particular jackass is far past his prime, yet somehow he manages to maintain his leadership role.
Exactly. And so it raises the question, too, what else concerns Democrats? And I think this gets to sort of the elephant in the room here. Biden's age and fitness. I mean, look at this contrast. We have talked so much about Donald Trump, the indictments, the legal woes. They are clearly a major or moderate concern to the majority of Americans. But Biden's age and fitness for office, almost 3 out of 4 in our poll.
If you look closely, you can observe this elderly jackass attempting to remember his speech and control his bowel. As the morning's dementia medications begin to take hold, he resists his natural instinct to go knuckle-deep in his nose. As he becomes more lucid, he smiles as he remembers all the money that he and his family has stolen. But he quickly begins to prance as he soils his diaper yet again.
This is Democrats, Republicans, independents say it's a major or moderate concern for them. How about Trump? He's only a few years younger than Biden. A full 27-point gap right there. This is looming as a major problem for the president, too.
Notice the discomfort on the jackass's face as his undergarment becomes soiled. The elder jackass sniffs the air to take in his own scent as he looks to his second in command.
It's notable because his strategy is to try to laugh off concerns about his age. We'll have to see if they revisit that strategy. All right, fascinating stuff.
Yeah, they're going to revisit that strategy. They're going to get rid of him. And then they're stuck with Kamala. Will things be better under Kamala?
Here, a much younger and more brazen jackass brays at the podium, while attempting to ignore the foul stench wafting from the elder jackass's adult diaper.
Remember, all of these truths are piercing through in spite of them completely owning social media, computers, Hollywood, TV, newspapers. The truth is piercing through. They're losing hold. What are we going to do? It's good news, guys. The Patriots, we're going to run this table. Trump's going to win. They, of course, are not going to run Biden. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single show. I need your help too. I'm Doug in Exile.